Gerald Rogers, elite transformational coach, breakthrough mentor, and also a best-selling author. I'm excited because today is one of my favorite conversations that we get to have as it relates to conscious lifestyle design and creating a life that you love. And the conversation is about the laws of manifesting, how to really activate your powers to manifest everything you want in your life, whether it be drawing into your life that amount of money to help you create that freedom and lifestyle that you want, or attracting into your life a romantic relationship and that which you want to experience in a deep, passionate, intimate relationship, or attracting the body or attracting specific things. Like this law of manifesting is one of the most important skills to learn how to harness and master. And it's interesting because most people are simply unconscious and they don't understand how they're creating what they're creating in their life and don't understand how these laws and principles work. So my intention is that during the time that we have today, that we can help you gain some clarity of what these laws are, and even more importantly, how you can use them in your life. And I want you to think about this. Would you like to learn how to use the laws of manifesting? Would you like to be a master of manifesting? Well, here I am to tell you at this very moment, you already are a master of manifesting. The challenge is, for most people, they spend most of their life unconsciously manifesting. You see, these laws are kind of like gravity. Like manifesting, the laws of the universe aren't, subjective. They aren't based on whether someone knows them or not. They're constantly being used. And when you're using them unconsciously, then unfortunately you begin manifesting that which you don't want. This is why so often in our life we see people get stuck in cycles of poverty, and they keep manifesting experiences over and over again, which create greater poverty and greater challenges in their life. And they can't figure out why they can't get out of the rut. Have you ever felt that way? Have you ever felt that no matter what you do, you can't seem to escape the financial struggles that you're in? Do you feel like even when you do have money come in, all of a sudden there's things that come up as unexpected expenses that push that money away? Have you ever felt frustrated because you just can't seem to get ahead? Well, it's simply because you've been using these laws of manifesting against you rather than for you. Have you ever felt in relationships that you keep attracting or creating in your life very similar patterns in the type of people that you're with? I see this pattern a lot, especially as I've worked with individuals as they're, going through a divorce and they're starting to date again, and they start, attracting the same type of people over and over again that they think in the first moment are very different than the people that they've had in the past, but then they realize that it's really the same person, just in a different body, and they keep attracting the same situations, the same patterns, and they don't understand how they're doing it unconsciously. Or even if you're in a committed relationship, how you keep having recurring patterns show up where same problems, same challenges keep being manifested over and over again. So these are all very common ways in which people unconsciously are using the laws of manifesting against them, and I totally get it. And one of the reasons why I've been so passionate about understanding these laws of manifesting is because I've learned the hard way. I've discovered that I'm an incredibly powerful manifester, and when I'm unconscious, I create a lot of chaos in my life and around me. But when I'm aligned and I actually have these tools in my tool belt and I understand what I'm doing and I activate these powers consciously, it's amazing how quickly I can create the things that I want in my life. And as a student of the laws of manifesting, I've just been incredibly aware of how these laws operate in the universe and the world, and I see evidence over and over and over again of how these things work. And to the point where I know that it's not by chance when I say something, I say, wow, I want to experience this, I want to have this in my life, and then within 24 or 48 hours, someone comes into my life that has that exact thing for me. Like, it's just like, oh, the universe is is listening. And that's one thing that I want to emphasize as we enter this conversation about the laws of manifesting, is that the universe is always listening. The universe is always listening to your thoughts, to your words, and to your feelings. And one of the events that we hold to help people master the laws of manifesting is an event called Awaken. And during Awaken, we spend 3 days discovering how to activate these principles and teaching people these tools and helping people step into a higher vibration of creation. And it's amazing to see the transformation that people have in their lives when they start becoming more aware and more conscious of what they're thinking, speaking, and feeling. And one of the things that I say in my coaching and my mentoring and through these events is a quote that I want you to write down right now, because this is central to the laws of manifesting that we're going to be talking about. And the quote is this: every thought that you think and every word that you speak is a seed for creating your future reality. Every thought that you think, every word that you speak is a seed for creating your future reality. And I really want you to grasp how profound and meaningful this quote is, and why this is central to this whole conversation of learning to harness the laws of manifestation to work in your behalf. And I want you to imagine right now that your life is a garden, and in this garden you have this rich, dark, deep soil filled with infinite possibility. This is your mind, this is your soul, this is your potential. The soil has this infinite possibility to grow whatever harvest you plant in it. And I want you to think about that, but oftentimes when we look at our garden, we notice that there's just a ton of weeds, and there's some fruit that's growing in our life in the form of results that is different than what we would want. And as you look at your garden right now, look at the areas in your life where you're growing fruit that you're not really satisfied with, fruit that doesn't taste sweet, fruit that isn't what you would choose. And maybe that looks like you going to your bank account and looking and seeing that it's overdrawn. Maybe it looks like having tension and frustration with your spouse, where you just don't know how to communicate effectively and you keep being triggered by each other. Maybe that fruit looks like looking in the mirror and feeling, this extra weight like hanging over your belt, and just feeling like this extra skin, and feeling unhealthy or feeling tired. Like, these are fruit that show up in our garden. And the fruit are there because we've planted seeds at some point in our life through our thoughts and through our words that created this reality. Our choices in the past have led us to where we're at. And as we enter this conversation about manifestation, it's built upon this fundamental principle that we are solely responsible for the results of our life. We are fully 100% accountable for that which we're creating. And if you believe that you're a victim, if you believe that other people are the reason that you're struggling financially, or struggling in your body, or struggling in your relationships or whatever, if you're pointing your finger of blame at someone else, you instantly make it so that you do not have the power to manifest that which you want, because you're giving the power of your life over to external forces. So the first step is claiming your power back and understanding that even if there's fruit that's showing up in your garden that isn't what you want, it's your fruit. It's your garden. And you alone are responsible for that fruit. And the moment you step into 100% accountability, recognizing, wow, if I've created this, then surely I can create something better, that begins the path of conscious creation. That begins the path of helping you harness and master these principles of manifestation that we're going to be talking about today. So as we begin this conversation, I'm just going to say that I have seen things that feel ridiculous and amazing and miraculous and that can't be explained by our logical mind. I've seen people manifest, incredible relationships almost instantly when they feel like they've been completely stuck and haven't been able to do that. It's just simply by aligning with these principles and laws. I've seen people perform miracles and experience miraculous healing in their body, in their mind, in their life, simply because of activating these laws. I've seen people completely change around their financial destiny, and the moment they activate these laws, within a very short time, they've manifested more money than they ever could have dreamed of. I've seen even more incredible things. I spent a full 21 days at a spiritual yoga and meditation retreat with an enlightened guru in India, and while I was there, I got to see firsthand how these laws and principles of manifesting work in the material world, and giving people special gifts and powers, and whether it being able to read blindfolded, to being able to materialize objects, such as I watched a woman 5 feet from me materialize a diamond, to seeing people move coconuts with their mind. There's all sorts of these things, and it's the same principles that we're going to be talking about today. And so whether you're looking to experience healing in your body, whether you're looking to attract into your life a relationship that you want, or to heal your existing relationship, or if you're wanting to attract specific opportunities and experiences, or if you're wanting to attract a specific amount of money into your life, these laws and principles work as long as you align with them fully and correctly. And as we enter into this conversation, I'm going to back up a little bit and make sure that we're building on a solid foundation and understanding why these laws and principles work. And I feel like I need to go into a basic metaphysical conversation with you to help you see clearly, because oftentimes a lot of the confusion, a lot of the chaos we create in our life is because we just simply don't see truth clearly. And to see truth, it requires us to open up our eyes beyond that which we can see with our physical eyes. And I want you to understand that at a deep, infinite and cosmic level, that your entire being is the result of the manifestation of your spirit or soul. That there is this cosmic energy inside of you that has attracted all of these atoms and molecules and cells in your body to allow you to experience life as you are right now. But it's also equally important to understand that you're not your body. You're not these cells that make up your body. Your body is simply energy. Your body is simply all of these energetic particles that are held together by this force of intention that make up who you are. And in understanding that, you begin to see yourself a little bit differently, because the moment you become more than just your body, just your particular frame of reference of who you are, then you begin to see at a larger level that you inherently are an eternal and infinite being, literally a part of God, and God is a part of you. And in that, you have access to all of this universal wisdom and intelligence and powers, and so much of our ability to access that power is based on us being able to see clearly. And there's a lot of amazing research that's been done. The moment you dive into metaphysics, you start learning about how all of these things work. And many people have seen the movie The Secret, which is a powerful introduction to the laws of manifesting and laws of attraction. There's another movie that was really popular some time ago called What the Bleep Do You Know? There's tons of other documentaries that have been done regarding these laws of metaphysics and really understanding how these principles work, and that teach about how thoughts are literally things. They literally have an energy that creates change in things around us. But all of these things are an important foundation for what we're talking about, because as we go into it, I want you to understand how powerful you really are. That if you look in the mirror and you think that you're just a body that you live in, and that you are, just this limited being, I'm just going to have you change that frame of reference altogether, because that's not who you are. You are infinite, you are powerful, you are amazing. And with that, the moment you understand and choose to consciously create through these laws of manifesting is the moment that you can realize that change doesn't have to take a long time. Change can be instant. Change can happen right now. And the only thing holding you back from having the life that you want is you and the belief that you can't have it. So let's dive in. Let's talk about these laws of manifesting. And I want to acknowledge my amazing co-creator in this life, Krista Pearson Rogers. Like, she is so powerful and so amazing. And she is an amazing, amazing manifester. And at our Awaken event, sometimes she'll share her framework for how she's been able to manifest the things that she has in her life. And this morning, as I was kind of mapping out and planning what we're talking about, she shared with me some of her principles. So much of what she shared with me is the framework for the content that we're going to be talking about today. So I just want to acknowledge her because when I look at the things that I've been able to manifest in my life, by far the thing I'm most proud of is the fact that I get to co-create with an amazing, incredible goddess like her. So hope you get to know her better, and hope you come to Awaken, where you get to learn from her firsthand some of these principles. And she's also got some powerful coaching and mentoring programs that you might be interested in if you're learning how to manifest and learning how to create more fully and powerfully in your life. So please reach out to her. So let's talk about what these laws of manifesting are. We begin with the foundational law, which is the law of clarity. Clarity is power. Write that down. Clarity is power. Now, for most people, the reason why they're unconsciously creating so much chaos and stress and challenge in their life is most people create from unclarity. They create from a space of uncertainty. They create from this unorganized lack of intention. And just imagine if you are trying to move forward in your life, but you have no direction, you have no idea where you're going, then you're just going to drift here and there. You're going to get distracted. You're going to get lost. And most people, if you were to walk up to them and say, well, what is it you want? What are your goals? What is it that you're working towards in the next 30 days? What do you think would the average response would be? Most people would say, I don't really know. I don't really know. And notice that even when you don't know, you're still using the laws of manifesting, just like gravity. Like, you can't turn it off. But the challenge is you're unconsciously manifesting based on this internal subconscious blueprint that's existed for a long time. That's just the patterns and routines that you're running. And so you keep unconsciously attracting the same experiences, the same opportunities, the same things over and over and over again when we're in that space of unconsciousness. Being a conscious creator means intentionally knowing where you're going and gaining clarity on what that looks like. So clarity really is power. And I want you to understand the importance of this part of this law that says what you focus on expands. What you focus on expands. And notice how oftentimes when someone's living unconsciously and you're talking to them, they're often drift into talking about the problems and challenges in their life and why their boss is like not, giving them what they want in their work and how it feels toxic and heavy, and they'll talk about the sickness that they have, and they just put a lot of energy into talking about and thinking about the things that they don't want. So in this first law that clarity is power, it requires us to take accountability for our thoughts, words, feelings, and actions, and to recognize that if we don't know what we're creating, we're going to keep creating, through this unconscious, experience of life. But the moment we get clear, then it's critical that we make sure that all of our attention is being focused on that which we do want. Which draws us to the second key, or the second step or law of manifesting, which is alignment. Alignment is key. Total alignment. And by alignment, this is where we, in taking accountability for our thoughts, words, and actions, we really begin focusing on pouring our energy only into those things which we want to create. And I'm going to emphasize this. I'm going to have you write this down and underscore it, because without this step, none of the other steps work. They're all important. This one is perhaps the most important, because if we're out of alignment, all of our power is cut off. If we're out of alignment, we can say that we want one thing, but if our thoughts and feelings and words are speaking another, we'll never be able to create that. You can't say that you want to create wealth, and you can't create that wealth if all of your thoughts and feelings are focused on poverty. So in alignment, it's critical that this is a fundamental thing. This is what I want you to write down. All of my thoughts, feelings, and words are focused on that which I want to create. Never put energy into that which you do not want. This is really, really important. So the first step of clarity is like asking, well, what do I want? What do I want? I want to bring in $10,000 in the next week. I want to manifest, an amazing, passionate relationship with my wife. I want to manifest and create the health and energy in my body so that I can easily and effortlessly run a half marathon, whatever it is. Like, get really, really clear in your mind what it looks like. And part of clarity is figuring out what is it specifically that you want, and how does it feel, and when are you going to have it? These are three aspects of clarity that are important for you to get to, is to be able to say, okay, I want to have this, I want to have it by this time, and this is what it will feel like when I have it. The clarity of knowing what you want and being able to write it down in minute detail that says, by this date, I will have this experience in my life, and I feel so happy and grateful and joyful. And I want to emphasize the importance of feeling in this journey of manifesting, because the reality is, like, all of us are magnets. Like, this law of the manifestation, the way that it works is we've got this magnetic field of vibration and frequency that we're constantly broadcasting out to the universe. And based on these unconscious thoughts that we have, we're constantly sending messages to the people around us and to the universe of that which we're desiring to call in. And consider yourself as this broadcasting station that's constantly projecting to the universe this message. And when you're focusing on words like money is hard, money is so difficult, I can't understand why I'm always behind, my boss, he doesn't pay me enough, he doesn't prove, like, the moment you do that, your words are broadcasting out to the universe that this is what I want to manifest and create in my life. And so in clarity, it's critical that you see the destination of what you want to be, and you speak as though it's already yours. You speak from the energy of already having it. You speak from the energy and from the total, complete faith that it's part of your existence already. And the moment you start speaking into reality and feeling it, the feeling is what magnifies that vibration and sends it out. Like, it's really, really critical to manage your vibration in alignment. Through alignment, this is where we focus on making sure that our vibration, the frequency that we're living at, the feelings and emotions that we have are an energetic match for that which we're calling in. I'm going to emphasize this even more, because this is all of the juice as it relates to manifesting, is to get to that space of feeling. And I want to emphasize that emotions are simply our tool on this planet, on this earth, to indicate whether or not we're in alignment. And if we're in the lower vibrational states of resentment and judgment and depression and fear and anger, all of those things, all of those emotions will be like turning your magnet backwards and pushing away from you that which you want. Because at those lower vibrational states, are we still creating? Absolutely. We're just drawing forth to us those things that emphasize those those feelings and those emotions, and we draw forth into our experience those challenges based on that similar frequency. But the moment we raise our frequency to the higher vibrational emotions, which are what? What are the higher vibrational emotions? Joy, love, peace, gratitude, abundance, all of these emotions. They're like, making sure that our magnet is like pulling these things towards us, because like attracts like. I want you to remember that. Like attracts like. Like attracts like. Your energetic vibration that you're sending out to the universe will draw forth into your life the opportunities and the people and the experiences that you want to be able to have what you desire. But number one, get clear. Get clear. What is it you want? What is it that you want? When do you have it? When do you want to have it? How does that feel? Then alignment. Put yourself in that energy and frequency of believing that it's already yours, and feel that energy. And alignment is also making sure that your internal beliefs, the thoughts, and the voices that you tell yourself and your words are aligned with that too, so that your internal belief system reinforces that message out there to the universe. I'm love, I'm abundant, I'm powerful, I can easily create this, change is easy, I deserve to have this love. Like, all of that is so critical. Like, you're aligning yourself with all of the beliefs that would make it easy for that experience to be part of your life. And you're casting out from your thought and your mind all of the weeds and all of the unhealthy, limiting beliefs that would keep you from feeling those things. So the third part of this game of manifesting is to create a no exits game. To create no exits. And this is stepping into 100% certainty. Absolute, total, undeniable, unshakable certainty that what you want is already yours. This level of faith is a challenge for some people, because a lot of people like to dabble. A lot of people like to tiptoe their way in and say, oh my gosh, yes, I want to be able to make $10,000 a month in my own business, and yet they dabble and they tiptoe and they hesitate and they feel inspired to do something and they wait and they have a bunch of other people say they're crazy, and so they give up, and so they back out. And here's where level 8, level 9 commitment's not even enough to really magnify this force of manifestation. You need to be at 100% certainty, where and there's this almost delusional experience that other people are going to have of you. Like, they're going to think you're totally crazy, totally delusional, and you're going to be like, yep, I absolutely am. Because other people will look at your life and say, are you crazy? You don't have that. You can't do that, because they're judging you based on their past experience of you. And if you're calling into your life new experiences, then it's a very, very, very different thing that you get to show up to create. And so you get to be delusional. You get to believe that you already have that new fruit in your life before you have it. If you are choosing to be a millionaire, you get to feel with 100% certainty that you're already a millionaire even before it comes. If you're starting the business, you get 100% know that that business is successful as you're launching it, even before it really is. Like, you get to know that that person that you're attracting to your life is already part of your life. 100% certainty. Like, it's good in this space to be delusional and to not buy into other people's doubts and fears. Because here's what most people do. They'll go ahead and they'll speak some bold, audacious thing that they're choosing to manifest and create in their life. And then they'll listen to the doubters. Then they'll listen to their family and friends that, are threatened by them changing. And they'll say, you can't do that. Are you crazy? What Kool-Aid are you drinking? And they'll think it's crazy that you've invested money to work with a mentor, that think it's crazy that you're trying to start your own business, that think it's crazy that you're going through these things to start attracting the love of your life. Like, they'll just think you're crazy, and just embrace that. Just embrace that, because it is the crazy ones that change the world. Like, enjoy being crazy and step into it with 100% certainty. Many people have heard this story about burning the boats. And I don't know the exact origins of the story. I think it's Cortez, what the story is originally attributed to. I could totally be wrong, but that's what I believe. And in this story, like, they were coming and they were landing on this island, and they had all of these warriors, and they needed to, they were trying to claim this territory, and they were going to battle and war. And Cortez ordered that they burn all of their boats, after they got off the ship. And it's a symbol of this total audacious faith, which says there's only one way we get off. That means we succeed. We have to succeed. There's no jumping on the boat and retreating. Retreating is not an option. And it's a powerful metaphor for our life. What would a no-exit scheme, what would a no-exit strategy look like for you if you were 100% certain, 100%, not even a single ounce of doubt, if you're 100% certain that you would achieve and create this thing that you're choosing to manifest in your life? How would you show up differently? What would you do? And what are the things that you've been using as crutches that are, just in case this doesn't work out, And I love that amount of total absolute certainty. That's a space of undeniable power. And it's amazing what that amount of faith can do. And in this certainty, the principle of faith is foundational for creating anything. I even want you to think about this analogy of our garden, and just imagine you have a seed. And let's just imagine that that's a seed for an apple tree. Now, in order for you to go through the steps to plant that seed in your garden, to prepare the soil, to plant that seed, to nurture that seed, like, that instantly is an act of faith. You are believing, this is all faith is, you are believing that an action that you take will create a specific result. That's what faith is. Planting the seed, I know that I'll be able to, grow an apple tree. By going to the gym, it's an act of faith that you're going to get a certain result. By drinking a glass of water, it's an act of faith, believing that water is going to provide the nourishment that your body needs. Like, when you really think about it, everything that we do in life at some level is an act of faith. And in terms of this process of creation, if you look at your garden, think, wow, I want to have an apple tree. I want to create an orchard where I have all of this delicious, amazing food in my life. And once again, this is just a metaphor for everything else you want to create. That process of planting the seed is an act of faith. Believe that seed will yield that fruit. But then once that seed is planted, you need to make sure that it's getting the nourishment that it needs to. And this is where the alignment comes in. And then you have to keep feeding that, nourishing it, giving it the water, the sunlight, the nutrients that it needs to keep growing. And during the first stage of manifestation, you're not going to see the results. You're not going to see them instantly. And I'm going to pause there and say that I can't say that's totally true, because there are some things you're going to instantly manifest, and the more you tap into the full powers of the universe, manifesting like time is really irrelevant. But in this initial stage, as you're learning how to manifest, there's going to be a gestation period that's required. And this gestation is a period where from the time you plant the seed to time before you start seeing that fruit. And obviously you plant that seed, you nourish it, you take care of it, and if it's the right seed and if it's the right soil, then there comes a point where the seed begins to come up. And that's the first evidence of faith. Up until then, it's total faith, but even then, it's just like this little tiny seedling, and you have to keep nurturing that and keep moving forward. And this is where we go into the fourth step of manifesting, which is taking inspired action. When you act from a space of faith and you act from inspiration, you might not know everything that's going to be required for you to manifest that specific fruit in your life. You might not. If you have a financial goal, you want to build a business that grows to the point where it's making over $1 million a year, the moment you start it, you have no idea what all of the steps are going to be to grow that business. There's no amount of planning you can do that will help you map out every single choice you're going to need to make. Same's true in relationships. Same's true in your body. Like there's no amount of planning that will give you all of the steps to create that. But that planning is important. But what's even more important is learning how to be in inspired action so that you can trust yourself to know what the next step is. And just like the seed analogy, as you're planting it, you're going to be nourishing it, you're going to be taking care of it, and that inspired action gets to happen every single day, where you keep feeding and nurturing and loving and taking care of that thing that you're manifesting as your dream, and to allow the gestation period to take place. And there comes a point in that process, there comes a point in that manifestation process where your certainty breaks through all of the barriers of resistance that you've held in the past, all of the negative voices, all the fears that you've had, all of the outside resistance. And there comes a point where that young tree begins to become resilient and strong. And I want you to imagine that in this process of manifesting, that you keep nurturing and keep taking inspired action, that there comes a point where it will yield fruit. You know that. As that apple tree is growing, you don't doubt, well, I'm not sure if this tree actually, when it grows up, will yield fruit. You just know. It's just like, yeah, when it's ready, it will yield fruit. When it's ready, I know I'm going to have the most amazing, delicious fruit from this tree. And as you keep taking care of it and watering it and giving it the sunlight and, the soil that it needs, all of these things, and keeping the garden clear of all these weeds, that sure enough, the tree grows. And what's important in the space of inspired action is to be flexible in your how. Be really attached to the outcome, be committed to that destination, but be flexible on exactly how it's going to show up, because there's going to be choices that you make that might seem counterintuitive. You might be inspired to talk to someone and you're like, I don't know why I feel inspired to talk to him. I just feel inspired to talk to him. You may be inspired to invest in something or do something that seems very counterintuitive, but as long as you stay in that inspired action space, you'll notice that the universe will align to support you in creating the results that you want. Why? Because you step into no exits game. The universe knows and you are committed. You're staying in alignment. You're reinforcing the right beliefs. You keep speaking and making choices that are in alignment with that which you want, and you continually reinforce the vision of that which you're creating. So those things are all critical, and as you get flexible on the how, then you'll navigate, the journey in this very beautiful, no stress way of just being in the flow. And this is how you're really, really, really in alignment with the universe, is things will just start to click and you'll just feel inspired to make the right choices, and the right people will show up exactly when they're supposed to, and the right mentors will be there, and all of the right things will be there right when you need them. And that's such a beautiful space of inspired action. Now, I love the analogy of inspired action being like, imagine you're driving from, night, and you're driving, and when you begin the journey, you can't see the destination. You can't see it with your physical eyes. But as long as you know where it's at and you keep following the signposts and directions and and keep moving forward, you'll get there. As long as you stay in tune, as long as you keep making the course corrections that are necessary, as long as you have your GPS or your map that you're leaning on to help make the decisions. But in that process, just imagine that as you're driving and it's late at night, your headlights are only going to shine 20 or 50 yards into the distance. That's all you're going to be able to see. But that's all you need to see, because that gives you the next step. That gives you the next part of your journey. And the moment you go there, then all of a sudden the next step is revealed. And the moment you go there, the next step after that will be revealed. So never feed yourself the belief that says, I don't know what to do. The reality is you always know one thing that you could do to move you forward. And in the space of inspired action, one thing that I found really effective is just going into a very grounded space where I clear my mind and heart and just ask, okay, what is one specific thing I can do right now that will help move me towards my intention? And go ahead and repeat that, because I want you to anchor this question in. And anytime you feel stuck, just drop the idea that you're stuck and just trust. I have the answer inside of me. I know the answer. What's one specific thing I can do right now that will move me towards my intention? And that might show up and it's like, oh, I should call this person and get some perspective. Or, oh, I really need to go back and read this book. Or, wow, I really need to take this action. I need to go, build this, create this, whatever, right? Just trust that inspired action when it comes. And in that journey of inspired action, the moment you receive that inspiration, act. Hesitation kills opportunity. The moment you feel that inspiration, hear that inspiration, act, do something. And as you do something, it pours more gas on the fire of inspiration and puts you more in the flow of creation. But when you feel the inspiration and stop acting, it really creates this dam. And the universe is like, well, I keep giving you answers, I keep giving you inspiration, and you're just not doing anything. Why should I keep giving you those inspirations? So being in inspired action is absolutely critical. And that gets us to the fifth part of manifesting. And this is relaxed non-attachment. Now, I know this might seem a little counterintuitive because I'm saying be 100% certain that this result's going to be there, be 100% committed, and then I say, what's relaxed non-attachment? And relaxed non-attachment looks like this. Hey, I know it's coming, and it's on its way. That's it, Just like if I ordered something on Amazon.com yesterday. I know it's coming. Like I placed the order. I don't need to worry about it. I know it's going to show up. I don't need to keep checking. And it's like, where is it? Keep running to the door. Where is it? I just know it's coming. I know it's on its way. I have 100% faith in it showing up at my doorstep when it's time. And that is the energy that you get to be in the field of creation, because there's going to be some times in your life where in this process of manifesting, maybe something different will show up in your life than what you were originally intending. Maybe even on the path of creating total financial abundance, you notice you go through this period where, you have some unexpected expenses come up, or you notice some of your business that you were expecting drop off. I have one client that I'm working with right now that he set a goal to be making $100,000 a month when he started working with me. And we began helping him align his life and shifting thoughts, and some of the deals that he had originally been counting on fell apart. And I'm like, just keep believing, keep moving forward, don't doubt, just keep moving forward. And it was interesting because he needed a lot of shifts and evolution and alignment in his life. And then sure enough, the third month, all of a sudden, boom, everything took off a way that he could never expect it. And by the fourth month, he had made $100,000 in a month. And it was more than he had ever made before. And the reality is that only could happen because he stayed true to knowing it was coming and making sure that he was staying in alignment. And part of that alignment was the universe clearing out from his life these other deals or opportunities that he thought were good, but really, really would have blocked him from being able to receive what he wanted. And I think this is such a powerful metaphor of learning how to not worry about when the universe gives us feedback that we don't like. Just don't put attachment to those things that you don't want. Just like, oh, anytime reality shows up differently than that which we're choosing to manifest, just stay in the energy of like, that's interesting, but don't put any more energy into it than that. You know, I noticed for me, because I've really begun to trust the universe a lot, I noticed that there's times in my life where I'll go through financial, scarcity. I'll just go through these times where the money is flowing out faster than it's coming in, and I'll hit the point where my bank account is not representing total abundance. And I'll look at it like, oh my gosh, I don't have the money to pay for my expenses this month or whatever it might be. But rather than going into, oh my gosh, this doesn't work, and going into panic and stress and fear, because I know all of that will create that which I don't want. The energy I have is like, oh, that's interesting. Well, what do I want? And I come back to reminding myself of these principles like, oh, I want to be able to make $97,000 in the next 30 days. All right, well, how do I do that? And I pour all of my attention just knowing that that money's coming. It's flowing into my life. And even when I have times where, I'm like, the other bills aren't like, money in my bank account isn't matching the bills that need to go out. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. How do I create? How's this going to work out? And when I do that, I notice my energy shifts into creation of that which I am inspired. And this idea of relaxed non-attachment is just knowing it's coming. Period. It's coming. And even when you set a deadline for the universe, which is a really powerful thing to do, I said, I'm going to have this money in the next 30 days. I'm going to have this money in the next 6 months. By this time in my life, I'm going to do this. Like, setting that intention of clarity in the universe is incredibly powerful. And if you get to that date and it hasn't shown up, don't stress, don't fear, don't go into self-judgment, don't go into self-doubt and blame and make yourself wrong for it. Just say, that's interesting. I know it's coming. I know it's still coming, right? And just continue to trust that it's on its way. So just go ahead and say that with me. It's on its way. And just feel that energy of relaxed non-attachment. It's just staying in the positive vibration, because the moment we shift our vibration into stress and fear and doubt and anger and self-judgment, that's when we push it all away from us and completely sabotage the results. It's like taking that apple tree that we have, it's like taking that apple tree and when it hasn't yielded fruit in the first 30 days, when the fruit isn't showing up in the first 30 days, we get all fearful and judgmental and begin shutting down. And so it's really, really important that you stay in that frequency of abundance, even when the results aren't showing up. Because you don't want to poison, you don't want to pour toxins on your fruit before it's coming. Just trust, oh yeah, this tree is totally going to grow the fruit I want. And I guess it just needs a little more time. What can I do to support it? What do I need to do now? How can I realign my goal? So that's the fifth step, is relaxed non-attachment. The sixth step is clearing the weeds. Clearing the weeds. The reality is, if you've ever had a garden, you're not consciously going out there and saying, I want a dandelion here, I want some weeds here, I want some other, poisonous plants over here. Like, you don't go and you're not intentionally planting these weeds, but the weeds show up. The weeds just show up, and that's kind of how life is. You're going to hear a message from someone or get feedback from someone else, or you're going to have the thought yourself, it's like, well, I'm not good enough. I can't do it. Money's too hard. Like, this is too difficult. You're going to have those thoughts from time to time, and sometimes you're going to notice that your emotions are going to get overwhelmed. You're going to get frustrated, and that's just, those emotions are just feedback from the universe that says, hey, warning, guess what? You're out of alignment right now. Time to shift. Like, from this emotion, you're just going to create more of what you don't want. So when you get like sad or depressed, don't beat yourself up over it. Just take it as a sign from the universe that says, oh, wow, something's out of alignment. I need to shift. And clearing the weeds means going into the garden on a frequent basis and doing the belief breakthrough work that's required to get those things out. And that belief breakthrough is really about identifying what is the specific belief that's creating that emotion or feeling or result in your life. What is that feeling that you're experiencing, and what would you need to believe to have that feeling right now? And once you identify what that specific feeling is, then you can look at it. And how do you know it's a weed? How do you know it's a lie? How do you know it's something there that's there to limit you or sabotage you? Is you'll notice that belief will feel very heavy. I can't have the money I want. I can't build the business I want. People don't want to work with me. All of those, you just feel the heaviness of those beliefs. That's how you know they're weeds. They're just going to create fruit in your life you don't want. And you know they're lies because they'll always limit you. And so clearing the weeds is going through the emotional healing process of looking at those and finding out where that belief started, where it originated, and begin healing those stories. I don't have time right now to go through the entire belief breakthrough process, but that is something that we do a lot through our events and through our higher level mentoring programs, is teaching people how to master the art of releasing negative emotions when you feel them, how to turn around limiting beliefs so you can align them with empowering beliefs. This is something that's really, really important to understand, is how to constantly clear the weeds from your garden so that it's not interfering with your process of manifesting. But clearing the weeds is all about realignment and focusing the energy on the beliefs that will actually serve you in creating what you do want. The beliefs that say, I'm powerful. It's easy for me to manifest what I want. I love creating abundance and wealth in my life. People love and adore me. I'm very lovable. I easily attract the love and relationships I want in my life. What are the beliefs that would make creating and manifesting this goal easy? That's what you get to stay aligned with as you clear the weeds and break through of all of the limiting beliefs that would keep you from experiencing that. And then the final step in this process is to surround yourself with support. There's an energy that we have in every one of the relationships in our life. And there's certain relationships that individuals just show up in a toxic, harmful, dangerous way. And if you have people in your life that saying, you're stupid, you can't do this, you're never going to be successful, what are you doing, who do you think you are? If you have people feeding you those results, it's just like allowing someone in your garden that's just going to be pouring poison onto your plants. Do you really want that? Do you deserve that? This is where you get to draw super clear boundaries with those people. And you might be related to them. You might even be married to them. I don't know. But if you're around people that are constantly pouring negative energy into your life, you got to draw really clear boundaries and say, hey, not in my garden. You can't say that to me. I will not allow you to speak to me that way because I know that I am powerful. I know that I can do this. And you can either support me in this or you can shut up, right? And just be in that energy of like drawing those clear boundaries. And honestly, there's some people in your life that are going to be that toxic, heavy energy, those energy vampires, that it might be worth just creating some space, and it might be time to upgrade your friends. Yep, I said it. It might be time to upgrade your friends and choose to be around the like-minded, powerful, inspired people that are going to support you in your goals and dreams. This is one of the things I love most about our events is it's this entire group of people that are committed to supporting, loving, and caring for each other, and like-minded people that are there and they see the greatness in you and they want you to succeed. Surround yourself with people like that. And surrounding yourself with people, the right support means that you've got your environment, you've got people, you've got a team, you've got accountability partners, you've got all of the positive messages in your life that will help you align with that what you want to create. And it also involves hiring a powerful mentor that can guide you through that process of creation. This is why I'm so passionate about what I do as an elite transformational coach and mentor is because I get to firsthand help people manifest everything that they want in their life, to help them align their thoughts and beliefs, to help them gain clarity on what they want, to help them step into a no-exit game strategy so they can have total certainty, help them know how to take inspired action and hold them accountable to those actions, to help them encourage them when life shows up different, and help them stay in the space of relaxed non-attachment, and help do the deeper belief breakthrough work that's required so that manifestation becomes easy. And this is what I'm super passionate about and helping people with through either our high-level group programs or the one-on-one mentoring that I do, is helping people achieve the life of their dreams, helping them step into being that conscious creator and going through that process of conscious lifestyle design so they can learn the power that they have to manifest. And I'm just going to put this invitation out there. If you are looking for a high-level group, a high-level community that you can be part of, that will help you to achieve your goals and dreams, that will help you manifest, help you get out of the ruts and problems and areas where you feel stuck, and really help you step into that abundance and personal power and possibility that you desire, then I invite you to have a conversation with me or one of my coaches where we can talk to you about what it would look like for you to have this level of unprecedented support in your life. And if you're interested in having that conversation, go ahead and set up a time to speak with either me or one of my coaches at coachwithgerald.com. Once again, that's www.coachwithgerald.com. And I look forward to helping you create what you want. As we wrap up today's conversation, I'm just going to emphasize this, that you are a manifester already. And your ability to consciously manifest your life is going to be based on you staying in alignment with these principles that we talked about. Staying clear on what you want, why you want it, when you want it, and how it feels to have it. Number 2, remembering that alignment is key. Staying in alignment, making sure that your thoughts, your words, and your actions are all in alignment with that which you're choosing to manifest and create. Number 3, to give yourself a no-exits game. Don't give yourself any excuses. Step into 100% certainty and own that these results are already yours. And number 4, step into inspired action. Take inspired action on a daily basis. Keep asking, okay, what's the number one thing I can do right now to move forward towards this goal or dream that I have? Stay in that flow of inspired action and watch how the universe unfolds to support you. And then be in a space of relaxed non-attachment. Just know it's coming. Trust that it's coming. Don't put any energy into those things that are showing up in your life that are residual effects from who you used to be. Don't put any energy into those things that show up that aren't what you want. Just say, oh, that's interesting, and keep moving forward with full faith, knowing that the universe is supporting you in creating what you want. And then number 6, keep clearing the weeds. Continually realign. Continually step back into a recommitment to that dream that you have, and keep watering that plant. Keep watering and nurturing that truth in your life, and watch what happens. And the final part is make sure that you're surrounded with support to help you move forward, to help you master these things, and to help you stay accountable to those goals and dreams that you're choosing to manifest in your life. And as you do these things, magic will happen. And there's a lot of other tools and principles that I'll continue to share on, how to do vision boards, how to write your ideal life vision, how to step into creating affirmations for success, and all of the other tools that are ways to utilize these laws of manifestation on your behalf. On this particular segment, we don't have time for all of that. I just wanted to give you these laws and rules of manifesting, and make sure that you are aware of those things so you can stay in alignment with that. And once again, if it serves you to step into higher level support, to be part of our high level programs, I'd love to have a conversation with you. Just set up a time to speak with me or one of my coaches at www.coachwithgerald.com. And I look forward to seeing you create miracles in your life. This is Gerald Rogers reminding you, you've got one life to live. Live big.